Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Scott, and welcome to my Biblical Reflections project. So, I thought this would be a very interesting opportunity to be able to share what I study in my personal time through an essay. So, every other week we were asked to write a biblical reflection on a scripture and kind of talk about, what we learned from it, what we gained from it, what we learned about um, ourselves, about the general public, and also how can we apply that to what we're studying, in this entrepreneurial class. So, what the first week, the first biblical reflection that I did it on Psalms 1. Psalms 1 and 1 says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, in which he does meditate day and night. For he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season. His leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." And the reason I was reflecting on that scripture for that week is because one of my pastors had asked us, how many souls, if God were to question us about how many souls we've won over to Him this year, um, would He be proud of us, or would He be a little disappointed? Are we really letting our light shine? And that God saved us not for ourselves, but to be fishers of men and to encourage and share the gospel with everyone. And I memorized this scripture years ago, and to me, it had spoke to me that, I should stay away from anyone who doesn't believe like I believe, who doesn't act how I act, kind of steer clear from anyone who isn't saved. And I was just reflecting on how that has changed for me as I've grown up, as, I'm working with everyone, dealing with people in all walks of life. I can't be effective and win souls over for Christ if I run away from anyone who isn't saved and who doesn't believe like I believe. Even though it's good to have fellowship with other believers, we have to go out and reach people who don't know Christ. And so I was kind of reflecting on that, and the scripture talked about how if we meditate on Him day and night, we shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in season, and whatsoever we do, it shall prosper. And that encouraged me just in the business world that, if we're rooted and grounded in His Word and we believe and we're faithful, that even in our business, even as entrepreneurs and managers, we can prosper, that we can not only not associate ourselves and do business like the world, we can be different and set apart and encourage people to have integrity and to be honest in their business dealings, and that God will prosper us. The next biblical reflection that I reflected on was on Philippians 4 and 6. And I remember going through a lot that week. And that scripture, kind of just some paraphrase it, says, "Don't worry about anything. Be anxious for nothing, but in all things through prayer and supplication, make our requests be made known to Him. And He will experience God's perfect peace." And so that encouraged me in this entrepreneurial class, and just in general that week, that God is all knowing, He's all powerful, so that no matter what we're going through, God is able to give us perfect peace if we release it all to Him. He doesn't intend for us to carry our own burdens and to be weighed down with the cares of this world. He wants us just to release it all to Him, pray and ask Him for guidance. Even if as business managers and business owners, we don't have to be overwhelmed with stress and anxiety as to what decisions to make. We can pray, and God can speak to us and give us direction and give us clarification, and we can just bask in the peace of God, knowing that He knows all and that He's in control. So that's why I chose that scripture, because it really encouraged me where I was at the moment, and just, in the business sense. The last one reflection that I did was on the book of Ruth, and it just really encouraged me to not let my circumstances dictate what I call myself. Naomi, who had lost her husband and her two sons, she had said, "Don't call me Naomi, call me Mara," which means bitter, because she was so bitter and angry that she had lost her son and her husband, and she felt like God didn't love her. And so this scripture ministered to me, because sometimes, even in the business world, we may not always get yes, we may not always come out on top, we may have some slow months or down months, but we don't have to call ourselves a failure. We don't have to be discouraged and bitter and angry. We can stay positive and call us, and knowing that we're more than conquerors, because that's what God calls us. So that's why I chose that scripture. I really enjoyed the biblical reflections every other week. It encouraged me to really look at the scriptures that I kind of know, but to really look at them from a different point of view, and how can I apply that to this class and to my job in my business world. So I hope this encouraged you. Thank you, and God bless.